Hello. You get COVID me right now. Yes, I'm currently infected with COVID. Um, which, why are you making a video when you're still sick? Because I have this thought, and one of the things that happens with me when I'm sick is I get to, it's like my one chance to reflect is essentially what it is. Like really, truly reflect. Um, and what I have been really examining and looking over lately is the fact that I have a tendency to overexert myself. And it's been very prevalent when it comes to pretty much everything I've been combining into my content creation. Um, so for me, and I know I don't get content out that much, um, which is weird. Like my content has actually not proceeded the way I wanted. But that comes to I have overexerted myself to where my anxiety and depression kind of take over and then I kind of become incapacitated. So overexertion can happen to all of us and a lot of us will, hey, it happens. Sometimes we just take on a little bit more than we can chew. But for me personally, my biggest issue is the fact that I have a very, very hard time saying no. Now, I can say that to my kids all the time. I can say no to those two quite often. I know I can. I'm the boss of them, so it's fine. Um, but what I have come to realize is that I have a hard time saying no to people when they have an expectation of me and they want something from me. They want this, that, these kinds of things. Um, so me saying no is very rare, and the only way I was able to discover this was I was trying to prepare myself for job interviews and get myself ready, and I realized I honestly had no idea what to say when asked, "What are your weaknesses?" I I never knew, like, professionally what weakness I should have ever really said. Oh, I care too much, haha. Trying to make your weakness look like a strength type thing. And what it really comes down to is you've got to be able to admit to yourself you suck at something. A lot of people don't like to do that. I don't. I don't like admitting that I suck. But what I had to sit and really realize was the fact that I suck at saying no. And when that happens, I wind up overburdening myself and overextending myself, just basically making it to where I can't accomplish what I want to accomplish. And that's where I'm sitting right now. Not I mean the COVID thing that's one thing. But I'm talking before I got sick and all this stuff. I wasn't saying no. I wasn't stopping. I was constantly on this thing of I need to prove that I can go above and beyond. I can be better. I can do this. I can do that. I was trying to be more than I am. I was trying to be a superhuman, and I can't do that. So what has happened while when I'm sick, I shouldn't say when you're sick, when I'm sick, I have a tendency to do a lot of thinking because, all right, much else I can really do except watch TV. And trust me, I have watched so much TV. It's not for me. I like to play video games. I've done that too, but it just like when you're sick, a lot of it is just I want to feel productive, and most of the time I'm not feeling productive, because I can't concentrate on things I can't do. But what I do is I sit and think and I reflect, and what I've found is have requests to do overlay designs and logos and things like that. I have zero motivation to do them. I have zero energy to do them, and I have zero time to dedicate to them. Unless I sacrifice going live, which right now is still incredibly hard to do and very rare, or I sacrifice trying to focus on the smaller content stuff, or I sacrifice time with my family. I can't quit the full-time job. I have to have that. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is my main priority? What do I do? And I've had to sit and basically prioritize what's important to me. And um I'll be honest, when it came to doing the overlay designs and things like that, it helped pass away a lot of the time that I had on my hands. I had a lot of time on my hands, a lot of things I could do because I didn't have any other obligation. But now I work full time. I'm trying to also content create close to full time. And I'm still trying to maintain my family and things like that. So what I'm having to do now is, and yes, this is basically an announcement, I am cutting out doing overlay designs for others. I don't have the time, and I don't I wish I could. I really do wish I could. But the thing is I've already overloaded. I've already got myself to where I'm having it's if I keep saying yes to things, I'm gonna wind up just leaving all of this. I'll be done because I will have lost all will to keep going. And I'm realizing that I have, what worked a few months ago is no longer going to work now. Everything has changed, and I have to change with it. And that includes having to cut out the things that I used to do. And I'm going to say used to because I'm not going to be doing it anymore. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. I'm not going to sit and make people wait 3 months for something that they're paying for. And the other part of it is the stress level that goes with it. There is a huge amount of stress that goes with designing these things because a lot of times people will ask midway through while I'm doing stuff and putting all this together and everything. Halfway through, they're coming up with ideas and new things they want to add and new directions they want to go. And because I have a hard time saying no, I'll tell them, okay, I'll see what I can do. And now I'm extending the time on it. I'm not getting paid additionally for it. And it's eating away at me slowly. And I'm having to realize that there are things that I have weaknesses about. And my absolute biggest weakness will always be the fact that I have a hard time telling people no. And it's something I'm working on, something I'm trying to be better at, because when I don't tell people no, what I'm trying to do is just prove that I have value, that I'm wanted, that I'm desired, and things like that. It's more of a self-perpetuating fulfillment that I need, this validation that I actually belong in what I'm doing and that people actually accept me for who I am and things like that. There's a validation aspect that goes with why I won't say no. But the it really comes down to the fact that it's just I need to tell myself it's okay to stop. It's okay to put things on the back burner. It's okay to cut out an entire division of your business if it's not really the primary of your business. And that's the thing. If I look at my content creation as my business, doing the overlays and things was not the primary part of my content. That was, for me, a way to help fund the fact that I didn't have any income. And so, I feel bad because I'm like, I'm going to now have to tell people, I know you've been waiting on me to do stuff for you for a few weeks and everything. And I told you I'd get to it, but now I'm having to go. I have legit tried. I have legit tried to get going on doing, the first one up was a logo. I couldn't get to it. every time I'd go to start, I was just so damn tired that I could not focus long enough to even put together just like a first outline of anything. It was bad. It's been bad. And you know, I've got somebody who wants a full overlay, and I've got somebody who wants a transition, and I just don't have the time. If I was making enough to where, you know, I could set my own schedule, I could do content creation full time and I wouldn't have to worry, I'd still be doing it. It wouldn't be an issue, but I legit just don't have time because I don't stop to say no. And the thing is overexerting yourself like this, overextending, however you want to put it, doing this to you actually winds up being more detrimental than you'll ever realize. Because if I, like with me focusing so hard on wanting to do all these things and be all these hats that I try to wear and whatnot, the problem comes down to I get so drained thinking, just even thinking about all the things I got to do, that I'm too drained to do the primary things. And the primary things for me is the live streaming and the small content, the micro content, TikToks and Facebook Reels and all that. So I'm having to reevaluate how I approach all this. And since I basically have made up my mind that I'm going to stop doing the overlay designs and you know, working for others, it actually freed me up to pursue, like, it freed my mental energy up for me to pursue some of the improvements I've been wanting to do to my own live stream. Things I have been dreaming about doing and just haven't been able to do because my mental energy was spread in so many different directions. So sometimes taking a step back and taking stock on what you can actually handle and what you're purposefully trying to do needs to happen. And it sucks because then you get this feeling of you're letting people down and you're hurting others and you know, whatnot. And it's just, I don't want to feel that way. And I'm hoping that people won't make me feel that way. We'll find out. But I have to do what's best for me and my content creation, this little enterprise I have begun and whatnot. I have to figure out what's best for me. And right now, yes, I'm kind of going into a me focus. I'm moving away from a lot of reaching out and trying to do for others because I can't do it anymore. If I keep doing that, I won't be able to do for myself at all. I'm already having a hard enough time trying to just get a live stream schedule put up and stuck with. Every time I put together a schedule lately, I can't follow it because my energy level is completely 100% drained. And a lot of it is mental energy. My job is mentally fucking taxing. So it when you're drained like that, you've got to find ways to cut out the things that are overexerting, overtaxing you, taking you way past your limit. And it sucks. I you know, I'll still keep my Blender skills up and I'll still be designing stuff, but for fun and randomly and not anything serious. The only things that I think you might see from me doing stuff in Blender these days might just appear on my stream, and that's about it. But you know, this is kind of the road that's laid before me, and it's what I've got to do. It sucks to some extent, but I know that in order for me to grow, not just as a content creator, but as a person, I have to start addressing the fact that I have a major weakness and I have to address it and make sure I find ways to make sure that that weakness doesn't get the best of me every single time. And so this is the first step for me. This is the first step of making sure that when I overexert myself and try to push myself into some avenue that is going to be too much and too taxing on me, I've just got to figure out the way to say, nope, can't do it. I've got to learn to say no. I've got to learn to say, I've got to take care of me first. That's something that's really hard to do. And you really don't want to sit and tell people that. You really don't. You always want to tell people you can help them and you can be there for them. And you will, as much as you can be. But you can't do everything. So I'm going to be learning how to say no. And I'm going to learn how to make sure I can manage myself, manage my time, my energy, my focus, manage all of it to where I'm not only the best I can be for my content, for my family, for me, but also for those who seek my help or seek my advice or something like that. Those who even just want to have a friendship. If I can eliminate some of the things that are just overtaxing me, start forging these friendships I've been meaning to forge for a while, I can start really focusing on these things. I think that's way more important for me. So I'm going to learn how to start saying no. And I hope this kind of inspires others who may watch this to take stock. Identify what your biggest weakness is. How do you address it so that way it doesn't prevent you from being the best content creator or just the best you. It's hard to admit you suck at something. It's hard to admit you suck, and then it's also hard to admit when you failed. But those are the first steps of getting better and improving and learning and growing. That's what we're going to keep trying to do.